Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. We are on lesson 153 in A Course in Miracles. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. And I will give you the warning ahead of time. This is one of those very long lessons. So there's a lot of words, and just do your best to kind of stay with it. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests, its brief relationships and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all of its gifts of seeming safety or are illusory deceptions. It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. The world gives rise but to defensiveness. For threat brings anger, anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked, and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it, and another in that, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack become the circles of the hours and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of the imprisonment upon the mind. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems but to be an idle dream, beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea at all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what you do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have made to sacrifice. Who feels its iron grip upon your heart? You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made, yet helpless in their presence, needful only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams by which illusions of safety comfort him. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the text maintains that choice is always made between Christ's strength and your own weakness, seen apart from him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great, attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims you have denied the Christ and come to fear his Father's anger. What can save you from your delusion of an angry God whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world? What but illusions could defend you now, when it is but illusions that you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a fragment of a senseless dream happened to cross our minds, and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God, its tiny instant for eternity. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we are created unassailable, without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all fearful thoughts behind. And in defenselessness, we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing through the world. Be still a moment, and in silence, think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them. Who is holier than they? Who could be sure that his happiness is fully guaranteed? And who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by his election and their own as well? It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits, and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that light has come to you and your escape has been accomplished, for you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, so will you recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children, and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games, which teach them that the game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win, and in his winning is the gain to everyone insured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefits salvation brings. You who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your Father, left alone in terror in a fearful world made mad by sin and guilt, be happy now. The game is over. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon this earth, and then we go to take our rightful place where truth abides and games are meaningless. So is the story ended. Let this day bring the last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tale he reads of terrifying destiny, defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape, is but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in his confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. Today, we practice a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now become the least we give to preparation for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God, nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps a minute, even less, will be the most that we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the business of the world will close on us, and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts over to God. Yet, when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and his love. And we will quietly sit by and wait on him and listen to his voice and learn what he would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking him for all the gifts he gave us for the one gone by. In time, with practice, you will never cease to think of him and hear his loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness. For you will know that heaven goes with you, nor would you keep your mind away from him a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you he will not make this possible for you who chose to carry out his plan for the salvation of the world and you? Today, our theme is defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear as we remember that his strength abides in us. We will remind ourselves that he remains beside us through the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by his strength. We call upon his strength each time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as he tells us, I am here. Your practicing will now begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid nor timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God never fail because the love and strength and peace that shine from them to all their brothers come from him. These are his gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need to give him in return. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness. And that is the end of lesson 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. As I was reading that this morning, I thought about the saga of the Hatfields and the McCoys and the kind of the ridiculousness of what happens with that, but the circular motion of the attack and defend. Two people got angry with each other and they began a feud. And so it was always a bit of retaliation, attack, defend, attack, defend. And what they lost was the lives of many of their family members. And it just was that pointless argument that after generations of doing this, of the fights and the death and the destruction and the attack and the defend, I don't think they knew what the fight was actually about. And I'm sure it was something that was minimal at best. And so that is what our attack and defend system is like. And when we turn ourselves over and become defenseless, when we walk in and say, we're not going to fight anymore, we're just going to show up on the page that we arrive on every morning, and we are going to be open to the power of God. That is where our power comes from. Okay. So let's go on and read what Jesus has to say through Tina Spalding. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know is Jesus. That, of course, was the lesson that I taught when I went to the cross. I was defenseless. I could have left at any time. I could have fought. But in my alignment with love, I knew I was safe because I am an eternal spiritual being and my body was not who I am. The same is true for you. Do not be so beholden to the body. The body makes you fearful. The fear of loss, control, or decorating the body is an obsession of your Western society. You are obsessed with getting it perfect, in perfect shape, so that it's the perfect bait to get the perfect partner, wear the perfect clothes, or sit posed in the perfect car. These are all body-focused thoughts and activities, and they make you fearful because the body is so fallible. You must focus on spirit, which is eternal. Your everlasting life, your everlasting consciousness can never be destroyed. It always was, and it always will be. The body is a temporary car in which you drive yourself around because you believe in separation, because you believe in fear. That is why it is so terrifying when you focus on the body. That is why when young people begin to overly focus on the body in an effort, they become anorexic or bulimic. They use all their creative power in an effort to mold the body and control the body as the thing that is their salvation, and it takes them so deeply into fear that they often die. The mind, untrained, can do that. It has the same power as a trained mind. Just as a trained mind can take you into a wonderful life where you focus on what you want more of and what you'd like to experience and learn and grow, then you can bring it into being. However, if you are untrained, the mind can kill you. And that is true. You see it around you in your society a lot these days. So we really want you to understand what this defenselessness means. It means that you do not need to protect yourself against attack. When you defend yourself, you are attacked already. You believe in your mind that an attack is imminent. You live in fear, and that is a form of hell. When you open your heart, relax, and open your mind to new experiences, you are freer. You are more creative, and you are more connected. Your body follows along. You do not need to marshal it the way you do. It is generated from the frequency of your mind. The more defensive you are, the more fearful you are. The more contracted you are, the more sick you are. The less defensive you are, the more open, freer, happier, creative, abundant, and healthier the body is because it follows along behind you. It has no volition of its own. In defensiveness, you prove your allegiance to separation in the ego mind. So beware of where you feel defensive and open up a little bit. If there's a person in your life around whom you shut down, cross your legs, and fold your arms, the next time you're in this person's company, unfold your arms and be aware of what you fear. Do you fear attack from this person? Well, then you are the one on the attack because you are preparing for it, anticipating and wanting that attack. If you didn't want it, you wouldn't think about it. If you didn't want it, you would be relaxed and happy. It is one of those cases of projection where our defensiveness causes the belief in the imminent attack, and that is where your creative power goes. So it will be because you are the powerful, that powerful. I am that one that you know is Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. And just briefly, if you've ever prepared for a conversation with a family member, a loved one, an authority figure, and you have every defense that you could possibly think of in your back pocket, you are not actually preparing to listen and be open to whatever the highest and best is. And we often walk around based on past experiences with a defensiveness about us. So become aware of what you're doing when you're interacting, especially with those you love or those who are in authority. And just be open. If you can walk in, with your arms open, sorry, I can't do that with this, rather than walking in like this or like this, walk in ready to actually communicate. These are my needs and I want to know how you feel. These are my thoughts and I want to know what you think. Be willing to listen. In your defenselessness, your safety lies. Meaning, if you walk in ready to negotiate and collaborate, answers can be attained. If you walk in ready for a fight, you're going to get a fight. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for sticking with this long one. Bye.